I was 17 and a bit when I realised my sight was deteriorating. But they didn't realise how serious my condition was, and that's when I lost all light and dark perception. And Mum says, "Do you need to go to hospital?" And I said, "Yeah." And they cannot tell me why I'm still here.
Lucy is 19 and from Kent. 2 years ago, she started to lose her sight and was diagnosed with a very rare form of idiopathic intracranial hypertension.
It was half term and I was just about to go on holiday with some friends to Malta, and I was having a good time. And I noticed I couldn't really read karaoke properly, and I bashed myself into a glass door a couple of times, and like I said, I just thought I had a bit too much to drink. And I got home and I was driving my little Nissan Micra around, and I realised I couldn't really see the wing mirrors very well. So I was like, "Mum, I really need to go to Specsavers, get a pair of glasses." And I went into Specsavers and they told me that I'd hemorrhaged the back of my eyes, and the optic nerve was swollen, and I needed to go straight to a hospital with a eye clinic. And so I went there the next day, and I was kept in the hospital there for 2 weeks. And then they told me if my vision got worse, I was to come back. So we came back, and then I was in hospital for about 2.5 months.
Lucy was soon taken to the National Neurological Hospital in London after her eyesight continued to decrease, and then had a shunt fitted.
A shunt is basically it's basically a hose kind of thing. So it drains the fluid from around your brain, and there's 2 types of shunts. There's a VP shunt, which sits in your brain, and there's an LP shunt, which sits in the space just between your stomach and your spine. My skull's too small to have a VP shunt, so I have an LP shunt, and it basically extracts the fluid from around your brain and pumps it into your stomach to help absorption. But for me, it didn't work.
Idiopathic intracranial hypertension is a neurological disorder that causes pressure around the brain. It occurs in around 1 in 1,000 people, and predominantly in women. With Lucy, it affected her sight. Her brain put too much pressure on her optic nerves, and they were severely damaged. This is a scan of a healthy optic nerve. And this is Lucy's.
It was the middle of September. I'd been out of hospital about 6 months, and I was feeling really nauseous, and I couldn't walk properly, and my head was fuzzy, and I had a really bad headache. And it got to the point where I hadn't eaten, and Mum says, "Do you need to go to the hospital?" And I said, "Yeah." And we went up there, and they asked me what my sight was like, and they got my records, and it turns out my sight had been deteriorating for the whole 6 months I was out of hospital, and my ophthalmologist didn't tell me. And I went down to 2 degrees of vision, and they had to take off my skull.
Lucy's vision decreased to just 2 degrees. This is a vision chart. If you had perfect 20/20 vision, you would feel the grid. The blue circle in the middle indicates what Lucy can see. Doctors had to remove part of Lucy's skull to reduce the pressure in her head.
Your pressure in your head should be between about -5 and 10. Anything above 14, it starts to damage your optic nerves. Anything above 20 is classed as high pressure. Anything above 40, you should be in a coma or should be having an epileptic fit, or you should be having an epileptic fit, or you should be dead. When I came back into hospital after the 6 months and I was really unwell, my pressure was 92. And they tried 4 different machines because they didn't believe it, and they cannot tell me why I'm still here. So, there's nothing out there which is really definitive. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking for things, and I can see there's bricks out there, but I can't make out it's a house, even though I know it is. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So if I look straight across, I can see probably, I can literally see not even a brick, and the houses that are far away, I wouldn't know they were houses. If I look down towards, there's like a silver car. If I look at the car, yeah, I can't see the whole of the brake light. I can see a bit of the red bit, but I can't see it all at one point. So it's probably easier if I look at a face. If I look at a face, if I look at your face, mm-hmm, what I do is first of all I find someone's nostril. Mm-hmm. If I look at you, I can't even see the whole of your nostril.
Okay.
I can see you've got a stud. I can tell you've got brown eyes. But if I look at your eye, I can't even see the whole of your pupil. I'll scan you, but I can't tell you your face shape, mm-hmm, your shape.
Can you see my necklace, for instance?
If I look at, I can see something gold.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you any detail on it.
You couldn't tell me what shape it is?
No.
No. Okay.
Before I lost my sight, I would say I had 200 friends, easily. I mean, you look on Facebook, you have 500 friends on Facebook and you think, oh yeah, they're really nice, they're my best friend kind of thing. When I lost my sight, I'd say 8 people came to visit me. I got a card upstairs. My old school, I wasn't even at this school anymore, and they heard that I was ill, and they've done me an A3 card, and they've got nearly every pupil in there to sign it, because I was head of school there. And that's lovely. And that was my best mate, Ben, Maz and Jacob did that for me. And they all came up and saw me. They organised a trip, and about 7 people came up that day and came and saw me. And I was wheelchair bound, I couldn't move out my bed, I was being hand-fed, and they didn't care. And I was coming out with stuff, like, I'm not wearing a bra, you can't come in here. And they didn't care, they just wanted me to have company because they knew how ill I was, and that was nice.
Oh. Can you hear it? Okay.
Lucy's life has dramatically changed, and she has had to reconsider her future career prospects.
What are you looking at? Before I lost my sight, I wanted to be a doctor. I've got 18 GCSEs, 15 at A&A Star, and I was going to go into paediatrics. I was in the middle of my A-levels. I was predicted all A stars, and I'm now not fit to practice as a doctor. I mean, a bit unfair, but I mean, who can really blame them? And so I'm going to hopefully now go into psychology and get the doctorate, so I can be Dr. Con. The singing for me has always been just something I do for pleasure, but only when the time's right. Now I find it hard to go out and socialise because people only see the white cane. There is definitely not enough support for blind people. And he says, that's what I always say. Like, I have on the back of one of my hoodies, I have the only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision. turn the radio down. He says, maybe something wrong. I say nothing, I was just thinking how we don't have a song. And he says,